Prologue. I plan to record and release this video all the way back in September-ish of 2019. Although it may have been earlier, I'm just going by the date this script was last saved. However, it ended up being put on the back burner because I wanted to focus more on my Let's Play series. I decided to dig this video back up due to the recent announcement of the 3DS's discontinuation in Japan. Although I made some updates and alterations to reflect my current opinions, it is, by and large, the same video that would have come last September. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the video. The 3DS is the handheld that pretty much kept Nintendo alive during the Wii U days, and it's easy to see why it's sold over 75 million units. Such a great library of games, and, thanks to DS backwards compatibility, a nearly endless one too. However, it wasn't smooth sailing for the 3DS the whole time. This video is going to split the years of the 3DS lifespan into eras of the system's lifespan, mentioning major games from that era and my opinion on them. With that said, let's dive right in. The 3DS launched on February 26, 2011 in North America. At launch, the only noteworthy games were a port of Street Fighter IV, which was insane at the time, as well as Pilotwings 3D and Steel Diver. These aren't bad games to launch a system with, but they're pretty niche titles aside from Street Fighter. Couple that with a $250 price tag due to the main gimmick of the 3DS, that being the 3D, and you have a recipe for a disastrous launch. It was so bad, in fact, that people thought the Wii U would save Nintendo from the 3DS. Well, that could have aged better. For most of 2011, the library didn't get much better either, with 3D remakes of both the most critically acclaimed game of all time and Star Fox 64 being the most noteworthy titles for the system for most of the year. I personally never owned Star Fox, but I have played Ocarina of Time 3D and I couldn't really get into it. Due to several factors, the 3DS clearly wasn't doing well. However, that would change very soon. On August 12, 2011, the MSRP of the 3DS was cut from $250 to $170. In addition, people who bought their 3DS before the price cut obtained 10 free Game Boy Advance games as part of the Ambassadors program, which still hasn't been released to anyone else as of 2020 and probably never will be at this point. Then in November, the biggest game changer for the 3DS had finally arrived: Ace Combat Assault Horizon Legacy! And I guess Super Mario 3D Land as well. Joking aside, 3D Land is a very good, albeit very linear 3D platformer similar to the new Super Mario Bros. Series, only way better. The following month, Mario Kart 7 came out, and went on to become the best-selling 3DS game out there. I personally unlocked everything, which took longer than you might expect, and played a couple of online races and some rounds of battle mode, but I lost interest soon after. I enjoyed it, but it just didn't really click with me. Then a little thing happened that I like to call New Year's Day, and lo and behold, it was 2012. This year saw many new major 3DS games, the first of which was Kid Icarus Uprising, an on-rails shooter in the Kid Icarus universe. I'd never played it, but apparently it requires the Circle Pad Pro, so I wouldn't have been able to play it anyways because I don't have one. Soon enough, E3 2012 happened, but Nintendo's conference mostly focused on the then upcoming Wii U. The only 3DS games to make an appearance were New Super Mario Bros. 2, Luigi's Mansion 2, renamed Dark Moon, and Paper Mario 3DS, which was renamed Paper Mario Sticker Star. Animal Crossing, despite having been announced 2 years prior, wasn't shown at that E3, to the disappointment of many. We'll get back to Animal Crossing in a bit. Anyways, New Super Mario Bros. 2 came out on August 19th, 2012 in North America, just 3 months before New Super Mario Bros. U came out. NSMB 2 was all about collecting 1 million coins. However, I only ever managed to collect about 300,000. The absurd number of coins the game has means that I have over 700 lives, meaning that even if the actual level is difficult, which usually they aren't, it won't matter since I have so many lives. The last major game of this era was Paper Mario Sticker Star, another game that I've never played. However, this game isn't good from what I've heard. It's said that it doesn't have RPG elements or original characters, things that the Paper Mario series is known for. But I've never played it myself, so I don't have an opinion on it. Oh yeah, two more things. 3DS XL came out in 2012, but Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon was delayed until March 2013 because of the Year of Luigi. "2013 was the year the 3DS really hit its stride. It seemed like there was a new game every week at some points. The February and April Directs saw many new games, like Mario & Luigi Dream Team, Fire Emblem Awakening, more gameplay of Animal Crossing, now subtitled New Leaf, and a port of Donkey Kong Country Returns from the Wii. Of these, Donkey Kong was the first to come out on May 24th, 2013, and I've never played it. Next was Animal Crossing New Leaf on June 9th, although it released on November 8th, 2012 in Japan. And I've never played this either, but I do plan to at some point, like some of the other games on this video. Mario & Luigi Dream Team, the next game to come out, arrived on August 11th, 2013 in North America, and a month earlier everywhere else. Here we finally get to games I actually have played. Despite the high quantity of tutorials and just being slow in general, I like this one a lot. Then, the big one arrived. Pokemon X and Y had a simultaneous worldwide release, a first for Pokemon, on October 11th, 2013. It was the first time a main series Pokemon game was in 3D, as well as the first one with character customization, and it was a good one at that. Around the release of Pokemon X and Y was the launch of a budget version of the 3DS, the 2DS, which had a similar form factor to a tablet but with two screens, and it was wedge-shaped and had no 3D support. The last major game of 2013 was The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, and once again, I also had this game. In fact, my 3DS is the Link Between Worlds Bundle 3DS, which I got for Christmas in 2013. Great gameplay, great graphics, awesome music, 10 out of 10. Okay, I might be a little biased since it was my first 3DS game, but it is very good. The number that represents the current year increased by 1 yet again on January 1st, 2014. The last game I listed from before, Fire Emblem Awakening, came out in April of this year, and it saved the Fire Emblem franchise. Not only have I not played it, I'm not knowledgeable about the series at all outside of the fact that the characters take up a large portion of the Smash roster. Speaking of which, Smash for 3DS! Initially announced alongside Smash for Wii U in 2013, this was the first ever portable Smash Bros. Game, which was a huge deal at the time. I had it but didn't play it much, probably because I focused more on 3 other 2014 games. The first of these was Tomodachi Life. Originally released in 2013 in Japan as Tomodachi Collection New Life, as a sequel to the Japan-only Tomodachi Collection on the DS, Tomodachi Life allowed you to put up to 100 Miis onto an island that you name. You then feed and clothe those Miis, who then interact in funny ways, and you can also write songs for them to sing. Also, Tomodachi Life is Japanese for friend, so this game's name is literally translated to Friend Life. The second game I focused on was the remakes of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, titled Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. It's a lot like Pokemon Ruby, as the name would suggest, but it's in 3D and has Mega Evolution, the main gimmick of Pokemon X and Y. And finally, there's Kirby Triple Deluxe. Kirby Triple Deluxe was my first main Kirby game, that wasn't a spin-off, and I really enjoyed it. The level design was interesting, the music was amazing, and the main gimmick, the Hypernova ability, was very neat as well. Overall, I'd say 2014 was a good year to be a 3DS owner. Between the release of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire and February 10th, 2015, nothing of note happened in terms of the 3DS. No major releases or major announcements outside of Smash Bros. DLC characters happened. Then, on February 11th in North America and Europe, a new 3DS hardware revision came on the market. It was called the new 3DS, and it was more powerful than the old 3DS, and also had a built-in C-stick, as well as a second pair of shoulder buttons that weren't used outside of games exclusive to the new models. Also, the fact that there are games exclusive to the new models. Most importantly, it has native amiibo support. Previously, you would have had to use a special external NFC reader that works with the infrared sensor. Meanwhile, the major games of 2015 weren't all that major. We got Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, Box Boy, and Yokai Watch. You know it was a slow year when I include a digital-only title, Box Boy, as major. The biggest 3DS game this year was The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D, and that was a remake! And then, there was Xenoblade 3D, a new 3DS-only game. Out of all of those games, the only one I've played was Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, and it was mediocre, I thought, and I took it back to the store not long after getting it. 2015 was a pretty slow year for the 3DS, but 2016 saw things pick up a little bit with the announcement of Pokemon Sun and Moon, the 7th generation of Pokemon games. That was one of the 4 biggest 3DS games in 2016. The other 3 being Kirby Planet Robobot, which I haven't played but I intend to eventually, Mario & Luigi Paper Jam, a crossover with the Paper Mario series that's pretty good but not as good as the first 4 Mario & Luigi RPGs, and Super Mario Maker 3DS, which aside from no uploading levels, is very good, actually. Animal Crossing New Leaf also got a big content update this year, the Welcome Amiibo update. It added all kinds of stuff to the game, including support for Animal Crossing Amiibo and Amiibo cards, as you can guess from the name, some mini-games, and adding in villagers, among other smaller changes. Back to Pokemon. The game I got was Pokemon Moon, and I like that they changed things up a bit by not having gyms for a change. Character customization returned, but with less variety in the clothes than X and Y. On that topic, what's worse, certain colors of clothes are exclusive to one game over another. Thankfully, I prefer the more somber colors from Moon, but still. Overall, good game and better than X and Y, but not quite as good as the DS Pokemon games. On March 3rd, 2017, the Nintendo Switch came out worldwide. It sold an astounding 2.25 million units on launch day alone. Despite the massive success of Nintendo's new console handheld hybrid system, the 3DS wasn't done just yet. The 4 biggest releases for the 3DS in 2017 were Miitopia, Hey Pikmin, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga Deluxe, and Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Miitopia and Hey Pikmin both released on the same day, July 28th, 2017. Miitopia is kind of like Tomodachi Life, except it's a turn-based RPG with up to 4 of your Miis at any one time. Hey Pikmin is Pikmin, but in a side-scrolling format. Also on July 28th, 2017, Nintendo released one last 3DS revision, the new 2DS XL. Hey, what happened to the regular-sized new 2DS? Who knows? Anyways, the new 2DS XL is like a 2DS, except it can fold, it can play new 3DS games, and like the new 3DS XL and its regular counterpart, it has native amiibo support. On to the next game! Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga Deluxe is a remake of the Game Boy Advance Classic with a new coat of paint and a few other smaller changes. It also runs at 60 frames per second, which is nice. There's also an extra mode, Bowser's Minions, probably to entice those who played the original already. The thing is, unless you got a 3DS at launch, you can't play the original on the 3DS anyways, so it doesn't matter. I explained why that is earlier. Anyways, what I've played of this side mode, it seems like a Mario & Luigi spin on a real-time strategy game. However, I didn't really enjoy it, and most everyone else feels the same way. Lastly, there's Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which are the final Pokemon games that will ever be on the 3DS, or any other dual-screen system as far as I'm aware. They're enhanced versions of Sun and Moon with a few story tweaks and changed gameplay elements. They're in a weird place because while Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are the better games, Sun and Moon have the better story. I think in general the biggest problem people had was the change in the storyline. 2018, in terms of new games, was a massive step down from 2017. No new Pokemon games coming to the system was basically the final nail in the coffin for the 3DS. There would still be a few new games in 2018 though, such as WarioWare Gold, a port of the first Luigi's Mansion game, Captain Toad from the Wii U, which actually supported stereoscopic 3D, and Sushi Striker. Yeah, 2018 was pretty much ports and niche titles. The only one I got was Captain Toad, and I lost interest real fast in that game. The last game to be released during this era was a remake of Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, which sold abysmally, and the original version of which can already be played on the 3DS, unlike with Superstar Saga. What is the significance of February 27th, 2019, you may ask? Well, that was the day the first ever non-spin-off home console pair of Pokemon games, Sword and Shield, were revealed. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which are the actual first pair of Pokemon games on the Switch, are just spin-off games. Sword and Shield, on the other hand, are the real deal. This would prove that Pokemon would never again appear on a pure portable like the 3DS, at least not in the near future. Getting back on topic, the 3DS still had 4 more titles upcoming. Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, a port of a Wii game and the last first-party Nintendo game on the system, and Persona Q2, which is a spin-off of the Persona series which is mainly on the PS4. Lastly, there's Shakedown Hawaii and Shovel Knight King of Cards. Shakedown Hawaii released on May 7th, 2019, and King of Cards finally came out on December 10th of the same year. Meanwhile, the Switch had completely taken over Nintendo's attention. Aside from Pokemon Sword and Shield, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Super Mario Maker 2, Luigi's Mansion 3, and a remake of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening all came out in 2019. The last unrepresented 3DS franchise on the Switch at the end of 2019 was Animal Crossing, and even that franchise had New Horizons on the horizon for 2020. At long last, the slow trickle of new games had dried up, and on September 17th, 2020, Nintendo's Japanese website was updated to show that the remaining 3DS models had gone out of production. The 3DS's life may be over, but that's probably for the better, because then Nintendo and other developers can focus on putting more games on the Switch instead. That is going to be all for today. I forgot to mention any games. Let me know in the comments section, as that would be much appreciated. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of future videos if you really enjoyed it. Normally, I do Let's Plays. Right now, I'm playing City Skylines and Civilization 5, as well as doing a variety series called Collection Showcase. You can find those and other Let's Plays on my main channel, SirAwesomeness41. The link is in the description. Again, thanks for watching, and have a great day.